This week on Talking Pictures with Neil Rosen, we'll look at the new drama After the Wedding, starring Julianne Moore and Michelle Williams, Disney's photorealistic CGI remake of The Lion King, and we'll check out Quentin Tarantino's latest film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, along with my interview with the famed writer-director himself. Plus, a look at a new documentary about groundbreaking investigative TV newsman Mike Wallace. We've got all that and many more movie picks coming up. Hey everybody, I'm Neil Rosen. Welcome to Talking Pictures. It's our monthly Critics Roundtable show where we debate what's worth watching and what's not when it comes to new releases, hidden gems, and Hollywood classics. Joining me today are Bill McCuddy from Gold Derby, Lisa Rosman from Signs and Sirens, and Rafer Guzman from Newsday. Now let's start out with a look at a few new films hitting theaters this month, beginning with After the Wedding. It's an American remake of a heralded Danish film from 2006, and let's take a look at a clip.
You must be Isabel.
Yes.
I'm Teresa.
So nice to meet you. You just caught me at a very busy time. My daughter's getting married this weekend.
Come to the wedding. We can get to know each other better.
Hi, good, you made it.
Isabel runs an orphanage in India that I'm thinking of funding.
Oh,
Yeah.
what are you doing here?
Lisa, tell us about After the Wedding.
Well, as you said, this is a remake, and it is that rare remake of a very good foreign film that doesn't water down the material for an American audience. It's directed by Bart Freundlich, who may be best known as the hubby of Julianne Moore, who plays a self-made media mogul who essentially she coerces Michelle Williams, who's playing an Indian orphanage director, who she may or may not finance the orphanage, to attend her daughter's wedding for very mysterious reasons that kind of unfold as the film goes on. More than most movies that I endorse, and I really do like this one, I have to be clear that this is not for everybody. It doesn't pander to the audience. It has few truly likable characters, but it's beautifully shot. It's intensely and beautifully acted, and it asks really interesting questions about the intersection of power and gender and genetic fidelity.
Rafer?
I like the movie. I think you've got a very deep read there that I was not getting from that film.
I'm sorry that your little head couldn't handle it.
No, I'm just saying I felt like this film was a little more straight ahead than I really wanted it to. I thought it pulls you through with this mystery, and I feel like there's a lot of these moments of people circling around each other, looking at each other, and you get the sense that there's something pretty dark going on, that the reveal is going to be something really kind of gripping, and I just felt that the ultimate sort of secret I kind of saw coming, and it didn't really grab me when it was finally revealed. The only thing I would agree with you on is that the acting is sort of far and away the best acting I've seen in a long time.
I was shocked by how good it was.
I mean, Michelle Williams,
So
Billy
good.
Crudup, and everyone's just incredible.
Yeah.
Even if she's taking direction from her husband, Julianne Moore is amazing in this film. And it's a touch long, and you said mystery. There are lots of mysteries here that we can't really give away. But I think it's rewarding, and I think it's one of the best films that Freundlich has done in a long time.
Well, you know, I did not see the original Danish film. I know you did, Lisa.
I love it.
And I'm wondering, had I seen that, because the great thing about this movie to me, and I really like this movie, are all the twists and turns that the plot takes. We've all seen thousands and thousands of movies. It's hard to surprise any of us. And I'm sitting there going, wow. And I'm going, wow, continually throughout the film. And I'm wondering, had I seen the original film, you know, having known all the plot twists, would I still like this particular movie?
I think you would, and I just want to say the reason is because they switched the genders. In the original film, the two main characters are actually men, and the one limitation of that film is that the female characters are pretty two-dimensional. So it's an interesting subversion to have it mostly female cast.
Well, I think the acting's amazing, like you guys said. I think Williams is terrific, expressive just with her eyes, and Moore is phenomenal.
Oh my gosh.
The way she dresses down her assistant in a restaurant, just incredible. Highly recommended. Let's talk about a new drama based on a true story called Brian Banks, Rafer.
All right, well, this is about a young football player, Brian Banks, played by Aldous Hodge, rising star at Long Beach Polytech, my alma mater. Thank you very much.
There you go.
But his career is cut short. He's a junior in high school when he is falsely accused of rape. He pleads out, thinking he can avoid prison time, but to his horror, he is sentenced to 6 years, and his life is ruined. He gets out, he's a registered sex offender, he's on parole, he can't go near a park or a school.
And he's innocent.
And he's innocent, and he's innocent. So his football dreams seem to be cut short, but he convinces the people at the California Innocence Project, Greg Kinnear plays the main lawyer, to take on his case, and he tries to get himself exonerated. I like this movie. I thought it was very, very conventional. It's about as conventional as any of these movies could possibly get. Every beat seems to be kind of telegraphed very far ahead of time. But I did think Aldous Hodge was pretty good in the role. Like, you really feel for him. A little too old to be playing a 16-year-old here and there. I think he's about 32. I thought that was a little odd looking.
That never happens in Hollywood.
No, exactly. Right.
Yeah, but he's the heart of this movie. He gives such a great performance that this is what kept me there. It is conventional, but I think this guy is destined for stardom. Aldous Hodge as an actor, and other performances like Sherry Shepherd as the mom, really good performance. Kinnear, comeback performance. Haven't seen him in a while. Does a really good job. This movie really, and the fact that it's a true story. I mean, this really had me. Lisa, I know you have some comments about the timeliness of this. And
it's true. I think the release may be badly timed in the wake of the #MeToo movement, but the reality is that men of color being falsely accused of crimes for which white men get off scot-free has a very long and sordid history. And I'm grateful that this movie so evenly tackles it. I feel like it's conventional, yes, but it also builds its case so methodically that it works very well because of it.
Well, the headline here is, where's Greg Kinnear been for like the last 10 years? I mean,
That's
this
your
is like,
headline.
it's kind of a comeback, as you said, for him, and which is nice. I mean, he's a guy who got nominated for an Oscar early in his career and kind of went away for a long time, did the windshield wiper movie a couple of years back, and now here he is.
Well, the scenes between him and his parole officer, played by Dorian Missick, are really, and he's tracking all of his movements. He can't do anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Really powerful movie. Also recommended. Moving on, Disney has decided to remake another one of its animated classics. This time it's The Lion King. And
The Lion Ka-ching.
now Disney's calling it a live-action remake, like they're doing with a lot of their classics. Most recently, a few months ago, Aladdin. It seems like there's one of these every couple of months. But let me be clear, there's no real animals here, even though it does look real. It's all CGI. Some scenes appear to be shot-for-shot remake of the original animated classic. James Earl Jones is back as the voice of Mufasa. Donald Glover is the new voice of Simba. Beyonce, who I think is kind of wasted here, is Nala. The only people who add anything to this are Billy Eichner and Seth Rogen as Timon and Pumbaa. And I like Chiwetel Ejiofor as the voice of Scar. And I'm going to chime in with my opinion in a moment. But first, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Rafer, you're shaking your head. What do you have to say about this?
Well, like you were saying, it is photorealistic, and I think sort of like the technological advances in this movie are pretty staggering. Like, this just seems to me like sort of like an Avatar level advancement of just use of computer imagery. It's incredible. I mean, and the camera work is very clever. You see these little rodents scurry across the scene, and the camera seems to be having trouble following it. It looks so much like a nature documentary, you can't believe it. But I do think that the realism is also what robs it of its emotion and its expressionism. Yep. These lions can't smile. They can't really move their lips, their quote unquote lips. And it's a little bit of a problem. You know, the original animated film was so expressive and beautiful, and the characters have such great expressions on their faces, and you just can't do that here. Yep.
All the joy and originality of the story has been sapped. And I really felt like that, you know, and it's almost a miracle given what an incredible cast that they assembled. I mean, Beyonce has proven again and again that she actually translates well to cinema, both as a voice actor and otherwise, and she doesn't get an opportunity here, like you said. I think in this case, Disney's propensity for sort of technical originality got in the way of everything else, and I'm officially done with their live-action remakes. No more.
I went on record on this show a couple episodes back saying this is going to be the biggest motion picture ever made. It's going to beat Avatar. It's going to beat everything else that's come before it. And I really don't think that's going to happen here. I mean, it's making a lot of money, but you guys are talking about the animated version. There's nothing animated about this.
Yes.
I mean, this sounds strange to say because it is like a documentary or a science film, but like the animals can't sing and dance. There's no joy there. So it's kind of sad. And I'll say one other thing. the technology, I think, was better in Jungle Book. Jungle Book was one of my favorite years. Pardon
John
me.
Favreau, same
Yes,
director.
same director, and it looked better, and it was a better ride for me.
Listen, I think that what's the matter with animation? I mean, why does Disney feel that they have to, is like, oh, we're not, it's going to be better, we're going to make them photorealistic. You could, as you were saying, you could do things with animation that you can't do with this live action. I'm watching these animals, yes, they look real and they're talking. I think I'm watching Mr. Ed.
But it's because Disney doesn't trust itself to make a new story. So instead they take their same back catalog of, 5 or 6 stories, and they just keep on redoing them in different ways.
I said Lion King, and I wasn't kidding. I mean, they're really just looking for a payday.
Look, it took 80 years to make all of those classic animated films, starting with Snow White, and now in a 5-year period, they're redoing all of them. And I think that the charm, like you said, Lisa, is just there with the original, with the original
This movie
film.
is charmless.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
know.
use a Boston
It's hard to
accent.
ruin the songs. It's hard to ruin the story. It's acceptable, but I say see the original. Moving on, let's take a look at another new theatrical film. This one's called Skin. Bill.
Jamie Bell is a white supremacist trying to walk away from his violent past with the help of Patty Cake's Danielle McDonald. And that's not easy because of the strong emotional pull of his pseudo-parents, the always terrific Vera Farmiga and the always solid Bill Camp from HBO's The Night Of. It's a really good film. It's a touch too long, but I highly recommend it.
Lisa?
It's very strong. It's harrowing. The performances are so good. I had been wondering recently what happened to Jamie Bell, who started out so strong when he was a teenager and then
Billy
hasn't
Elliot.
done much. Right, exactly. And he absolutely lives up to his younger promise in this. But okay, truthfully though, given the cultural moment that we're in, I felt like it could have gone a little bit deeper into looking at the ideological context of the sort of white power movement and looking also the kind of self-reckoning that he does eventually.
Yeah, I agree with that. It was my one flaw, my one sort of criticism of the film, and I think it's a big one, which is that you don't really see what it is that's changing in his mind.
Yes, that is my one criticism with the film. Absolutely correct.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's no turn. 1 minute he's like, this horrendous, horrific, monstrous white supremacist. Then he meets this girl, and all of a sudden he's like, "Got to get rid of my tattoos."
And then we have to, and then we feel sorry for him, and we're asked to be sorry for him, but we're not asked to look at the kind of horrible things he's doing.
Where was the turn in his mind? It's not shown. And
The point is he was living a confused life, and that he saw a way out, and he took it.
But
Romper Stomper and American History X did it better. I think Jamie Bell gives a great performances. The supporting performances are good too, but there's something missing from this film.
Agreed.
And you will never, ever get a tattoo if you see this film.
It's so true.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is Quentin Tarantino's latest film. It stars Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio, and it takes place in 1969 in Los Angeles. Rafer, tell me about it.
Like you said, Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, two of the biggest stars of the day. Here they're playing sort of minor celebrities. DiCaprio is a former Western television star trying to make it big. Brad Pitt is his stunt double, kind of a Kato Kalin figure, stunt double / gopher. And this is taking place in '69, as you say. DiCaprio's next door neighbor happens to be Sharon Tate, the doomed actress who will cross paths with the Manson family later that year. There are moments in this film, watching it, where I was so excited because it felt like Tarantino is back. The movies are saved. We're all okay. This movie is so exciting, so fun. And then there are moments where I kept thinking, this is getting a little slack, a little lazy. Tarantino, I know, always has a final cut. Not sure that's the best thing. I think he could use an editor. But overall, I was really happy to see this film, even though there were a lot of things I objected to. The ending I still have sort of mixed feelings about, but I was just so happy to see a love letter to the movies by someone who really loves the movies more than most.
I'm with Rafer. I'm kind of a fan of the guy, but this is a long, shaggy dog story, and I'm going to say something really politically incorrect. I wish Harvey Weinstein had gotten his hands on this
That is
because he would have taken
That is
20 or
atrocious.
25 minutes
You're right.
out of it.
But you're right, though. You're right.
He's the guy that made all of his movies a little tighter. And I also think the time frame, it's told over like 6 or 7 months, should have been like 2 or 3 days. I think that would have helped it a lot. That said, I was excited during parts of it, but I think, and everyone's smoking in this film. I had a legion on my left lung just watching this thing. I forgot about the 60s.
I love it. I love it.
Well, if you stayed for the credits, there's a cigarette,
Yeah,
there's a fake
that-
cigarette
yes.
commercial
Tell people
at
to
the
do
end
that.
of the thing. Lisa?
You know, Quentin Tarantino has said this may be his second to last film, and I would think that would be great, because he's clearly sort of outlived his relevance and his welcome, as far as I'm concerned. This movie is as ponderous and bloated as its main characters, which is pretty ponderous and bloated. And I feel like when you really tease out its underlying messages without getting into any spoilers, what it's essentially suggesting is that the golden era of Hollywood was when people of color and women knew their place and good old white boys still came out on top. And it really irritated me. Like,
Okay.
I feel like there's a conservatism to this film that's deplorable, actually.
Okay, all right. Let me start out by saying that Quentin Tarantino is probably my favorite contemporary director.
Congratulations.
And I think this is a flawed but fascinating film. It is too long. There are movies within the movie that could have been trimmed down tremendously. I mean, there's like 5-minute segments of Leonardo DiCaprio on the set, and he flubs a line. I think we could have seen like 30 seconds of that instead of a 5-minute fake movie within the movie. And this happens a lot in the film. But there are some scenes in this that are just riveting. I mean, there's a scene when Leonardo DiCaprio is talking to an 8-year-old actress on the set that just like blew me away.
That went on too long.
There's a scene
Brad Pitt
Bruce Lee and
Bruce Lee.
Brad Pitt having a face-off that
Yeah,
was
that's
incredible.
such an offensive scene when you
And there's
really
a scene
think
when
about it.
Brad Pitt, who's the heart and soul of this movie, visits the Manson compound to see Bruce Dern, who used to like own the compound.
As
that
George
was the
Spahn,
first
yeah.
year, is
That's great.
terrific. But I have to say that the last, whatever goes on in this movie, the last 20 minutes are amazing. I won't tell you what it is, but it's violent and hysterically funny at the same time. I do recommend the movie. It's not Pulp Fiction or Django or Inglourious Bastards on that level, but I think it's very
It's more
good.
like Jackie Brown.
No,
well-
Jackie Brown is great.
Well,
I think
once
it's a lot
upon a
like
time.
Inglourious Bastards.
Well, once upon a time in New York, I sat down with Quentin Tarantino to talk about his writing and directing process. Let's take a look. How important is humor to you when you're writing this stuff and when you're making these movies?
It's about as important gets, because you know, if you were to break down what it is I do, one of the most important things that I do in my movies is I get you to laugh, and getting you to laugh at stuff that's not funny. One, that takes a talent, and two, there's also kind of it's a charge as for an audience member when that happens. One, it's funny, and two, you're questioning, should I even laugh at this? But yet I'm extracting it anyway. I always hear laughs when I'm writing my scripts, when I'm shooting it, I'm hearing the audience laugh. When I'm editing it, I'm hearing the audience laugh. That's why it's I don't get my final payoff until I watch it with an audience.
Well, this movie is not the first time where Hollywood has taken a look at Hollywood. Over the years, there have been many films that have given us a behind-the-scenes peek at the film industry. Let's take a look at a few.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain.
Yeah.
Griffin, I have Larry Levy on the line.
Larry, how'd the screening go? How's my new ending?
Fantastic, fantastic work like gangbusters. That's why you get the big bucks, Griff.
Yeah.
We'll play something, somebody.
Norman, darling.
You're Norma Desmond. Used to be in silent pictures. Used to be big.
I am big. It's the pictures that got small.
A voice that says I'll be here and you'll be alright.
Lisa, tell me about a behind-the-curtain Hollywood film that you like, or that you love, actually, since I know what you're going to say.
It's my #1 movie of all time. Singing
It's on
in
your
the
Twitter
Rain.
page.
It is Singing in the Rain. It's not just to me the best meta movie that's ever been made. I think it's the best movie a studio ever made. Gene Kelly stars. He co-directs. It's basically about that moment where the talkies took over. The choreography, the colors, the dance, the humor. Donald O'Connor, Debbie Reynolds in one of her first roles. There's literally no topping this film.
Rafer, give me a movie.
Well, I'm going to follow Bill's footsteps and make a politically incorrect comment and ask everyone to appreciate Kevin Spacey in Swimming with Sharks, which I still think is a great, funny movie. It's a little objectionable in its treatment of women, I do have to say.
A little,
just
sure,
a little.
sure.
But it's such a great,
Great.
bad
And
boss
that
classic. I
That
mean,
Kevin Spacey character was the basis for the Ari Gold character in Entourage.
And
It's
also
an-
every guy, I think, in Hollywood. What? Did I say that out loud?
That's what's so great about the movie.
Give me a movie, Bill.
Robert Altman's The Player is probably one of the best looks behind the scenes because it was all shot on real studios using sometimes some real people as themselves. It's a classic.
I'm going Ed Wood is Tim Burton's look at this, one of the worst directors who arguably made the worst movie ever made, Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Yes. Yeah.
And Johnny Depp plays this guy in a role that you've never seen Johnny Depp do anything like this before.
This is the one. Drop her in! I command you!
This is the one I'll be remembered for.
And it's hilarious. And Martin Landau wins an Academy Award deservedly for playing Bela Lugosi, who was in this terrible movie and died in the middle of the making of the movie. And it's just, I can't recommend this thing enough. It's a great look at schlocky Hollywood movies. You know, give me another movie, Lisa.
La La Land. I mean, I have to say, I do think it's like a 90-minute Gap commercial, but it still works really well. It's a musical, again, about the movie stars Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling, but it is charming. And you know, with the theme of the day, I would say the last 10 minutes of this film are unbelievable.
That just justifies. I don't think Gosling and Stone sing well. I kind of was bored by it, but the last 10 minutes.
No, I agree with him. The last 10 minutes
justifies the whole movie.
No, they're so good.
Justifies
all of a
the
sudden,
whole
I'm like,
thing.
oh, I don't mind the Gap commercial.
Rafer, give me a film.
All right, I'll throw a feel-good one out there. The Artist. I love The Artist.
Oh, it's such a good
Just
movie.
Singing in the Rain. It's a crappy Singing in the Rain.
But it's also just like A Star Is Born as well. But I love that movie. Silent film, black and white movie, and becomes the first silent film to win since 1927, since Wings wins Best Picture.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great film.
I honestly think it won an Oscar because Hollywood likes to talk about itself.
I love that movie.
Any of these movies got
Politically incorrect again. It was all about Harvey Weinstein, but that movie's not a movie. It's a stunt.
You were obsessed with Harvey.
I got to tell you, Barton Fink is one of my favorite looks at a screenwriter. John Turturro is trying to make a Wallace Beery wrestling picture, and all the nuances that the Coen brothers bring to this, you can tell they're living out their rage against the machine that is Hollywood.
When Michael Learned, as the studio boss, goes, I don't need you talking to Barton Fink. I don't need you for that Barton Fink feeling. I can get anybody to have that Barton Fink feeling. It's such an underrated Coen brothers film.
Yeah.
You think you're the only writer that can give me that Barton Fink feeling? I got 20 writers under contract I can ask for a Fink-type thing from!
Sunset Boulevard, listen, is not only a great look behind the scenes at Hollywood, if I had to pick my top 5 favorite movies of all time, this would be on that list. The great writer-director Billy Wilder made this. William Holden is this washed-up screenwriter in 1950 who pulls into this driveway because they're trying to repossess his car and winds up with this faded film star played by Gloria Swanson. And he becomes like a gigolo to this woman. The writing is like poetry. It's so sarcastic and so brilliant and witty at the same time.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
One of my all-time favorite films. I just love this film.
You know what I love? Postcards from the Edge, which is basically
Meryl.
an adaptation of the Carrie Fisher novel. It's loosely based on her rehab and her complicated relationship in the movie industry with her being in the shadow of her mom, Debbie Reynolds. I mean, it's all Oscars in this. It's got Shirley MacLaine and Meryl Streep, like mother-daughter, and Mike Nichols directed, which people forget.
Star is Born is you love the Star is Borns.
I do. I love the movie ones. I'm not such a huge fan of the music ones.
The last two are musicals. The first two are about the movie
37 and 1954.
I love the 37.
Oh, I love the 54. That's one of my favorite movies from the 50s.
Too much Judy.
James Mason.
There's too much Judy is an oxymoronic
99%
phrase. There's
Judy.
no such thing as too much Judy.
No wonder James Mason.
A little Judy goes along.
A lot of Judy goes
Janet
not long
Gaynor
enough.
And Frederick March, who's 37.
March is great.
It's terrific. And it's not a musical. I mean, and it's like, but it's the same story, basically, you know. And then you got the Judy one, where it's a musical, and they're
but
great.
time out. If you want a real look at Hollywood from the perspective of the guy who helped produce things like The Godfather and Chinatown, you got to go with Robert Evans, and The Kid Stays in the
Here comes the invitation, ladies and gentlemen.
Would I watch it again? You bet. Would I regret it? No way. Would I do it in a second? This is like the best. You have to see it.
I mean, honestly, longtime viewers of the three of us know that he's ridiculously obsessed with that show.
Yeah, it is a good movie. It is a good documentary. And the guy made The Godfather in Chinatown, and
as he said,
right. I mean, he's made a lot of movies, so that's great. Anyway, that's a look at some movies about Hollywood.
And that's a wrap.
Now, there's a new documentary hitting theaters called Mike Wallace is Here, about the legendary TV interviewer and investigative reporter. Bill.
Director, or we should say editor, Avi Belkin interrogates the interrogator using probably the most comprehensive archival footage I think I've ever seen in a documentary. Every shred of anything that Mike Wallace did is in this thing. And what you end up getting then is something that's a mile wide and about an inch deep, because we're only listening to archival footage of Mike Wallace talk about Mike Wallace. So I would have liked a little perspective from someone today going, he wasn't really like that, or he was exactly like that.
I actually agree with you. It always shocks me when I say that sentence, although I think it's
shocking.
I mean, as with many of the biopics that we are forced to watch on this show about great white men, I felt like this one could have asked harder questions, especially about the role that Wallace and other TV news anchors have played in sinking our national standards of accountability. He complains about it, and he doesn't seem to acknowledge that he participates in that. And that drove me nuts as I watched it.
I just have to admit I found the early part of the documentary really interesting. Because to me, I had always thought of Mike Wallace as sort of one of these pillars of the evening news in the background, not quite a Cronkite figure in
He's
terms of
selling
his
ladies'
gravitas.
lipstick.
Yeah, but right.
He's talking products.
You get to see like Wallace the entertainer. Like he's basically sort of BSing you on screen. He's selling himself and he's selling the news. And I thought that was really quite interesting. It's a side of him I'd never seen.
I'm with you. That early stuff of him, like game show host or whatever he was, is fascinating.
The cigarette advertisements.
Yeah, but what's really interesting also is, you know, it's great to be remembered when people were so scared that Mike Wallace, hence the title, Mike Wallace is here, that it's Mike Wallace of 60 Minutes and he's going to just blow the cover off your whole business and stuff. Plus, it was nice to watch some of those interviews again, like with the Ayatollah, you know, and Barbara Streisand,
Carson,
you know, and Riley called him a dinosaur. You know, I mean,
that was funny.
I liked it. You know, finally, this summer marks the 50th anniversary of two landmark events, namely the first moon landing in Woodstock. So in honor of that, I want to bring to your attention a great movie called A Walk on the Moon. It's from 1999, but it's streaming now on lots of platforms. Time is 1969 when the movie takes place, and Liev Schreiber is a TV repairman who commutes every weekend from the city to the Catskill Mountains in upstate New York to visit his wife, Diane Lane, and daughter, Anna Paquin, talk about a great cast, in a summer bungalow colony, which is essentially, if you don't know what that is, a vacation resort community.
Yeah, we had no idea what a bungalow colony.
Well, maybe some people. Anyway, the times they were a-changing back then, and Lane begins to question the conventional lifestyle she chose, and with the country and traditional mores spinning out of control, she decides to take a walk on the wild side, or on the moon, as they say in the movie, and have an affair with a hippie blouse salesman played by Viggo Mortensen. The moon landing and Woodstock are prominent plot points in the movie, and this is one of my all-time favorite films. See it.
Viggo Mortensen is great, and this is one of his first dramatic roles, so it was sort of his entry into Hollywood, and you know, he's done amazing stuff since.
I think it is actually a terrific little melody of a movie, and it's resuscitated Diane Lane's career. It accomplishes a lot, actually.
It uniquely captures a moment in a place and time in 1969.
Yes, well said.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's about all the time we have. I want to thank Bill McCuddy, Lisa Rosman, and Rafer Guzman. I'm Neil Rosen. Join us next time on Talking Pictures.